went to this center for kids in the township of Sharpeville, and a little boy. He loves soccer. He told me to call him Messi, and so little Messi said that he, wanted to be a professional soccer player, but that he also really loved the natural sciences and specifically chemistry. He's in fifth grade, and to me that just really stood out because here he is in fifth grade with this love for chemistry, but he also has a love for sports, and I think that as something that we don't necessarily see in America is this love for sports, but also education. So in his mind, the two could coexist without it being a problem. That really spoke out to me. The most impactful thing for me was a lot of the debunkings of African, I guess, myths in America. It's really important to see that there's an entire city of just black people, an entire country really of black excellence, even outside of the United States. And their sense of community is something that really stuck out. My name is Ahmad Blair. I'm a recent graduate from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, where I studied political science and journalism.
This is the type of life changing experience I've been craving, but I don't have the wisdom right now to understand how much of an effect it will have on me. My greatest impact of my whole entire trip was definitely the people and when we went to Sharpeville. Granted, I did learn about the protests of the human rights on March 21st, 1960, followed by the first South African Constitution being written in Sharpeville in 1996. But the people really impacted me the most. I love connecting with people. I love connecting with the people that I came across here during my visit in South Africa. I said that energy speaks before you do, so I made room to approach people with a welcoming spirit so that they would feel comfortable to communicate and approach me. And then I said a continent can't be understood through headlines or history books alone. It must be experienced through its people. What does Africa mean to me now? Africa means community, experiencing Ubuntu, and recognizing shared experiences across cultures. It represents belonging, feeling welcome even as a visitor, expansion of perspective and worldview, friendship, the ones I made outside and the ones I made inside with my fellow Aggies. It represents resilience, seeing the strength of communities despite historical challenges, and celebration. I experienced a culture that finds joy, community, and togetherness in everyday moments. Good morning, everyone. I am Jade Coleman, a second year honors journalism and mass communication scholar in North Carolina A&T. And today I will be giving my presentation on my experience of South Africa. Okay, so this is the baggage that I packed before coming. So everybody was telling me that it was dangerous. I was really concerned about the Ebola outbreak. So if you talked to me before the trip, I definitely texted you about that. And then a lot of people that were in my family and just around me were like, "Don't go. Like it's not safe." They were telling us like you need to carry your bag under your waist. You need to have a strap. Like I didn't want to carry my shoulder bag. So there was a lot of different stuff that was contributing to the mindset of what I was, and I'm a very scary person. So like if you tell me one bad thing, I'm quick to say I don't want to go no more. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so how media plays a role. I use TikTok as my Google, so I was looking up on TikTok these different things, so like things to do in Johannesburg, South Africa, study abroad, South Africa, and then I know here it's pronounced Wits University, but I was Googling University of Wits. But these are like a couple of the like things that I was seeing on the internet. So it was not a lot of positive stuff. A lot of the stuff that I was seeing on the media was negative. They were talking about the immigration, and I remember seeing, and I know a lot of the times in America they filter the things that we can see. And what I was looking at, I had seen one video, and when I tried to search it back up, I couldn't find it anymore. So I didn't know how to do more research on what was actually going on over here politically. But this just goes to show how they portray Africa as Americans. Like until I got here, once I got here, the media changed and I started to see more positive things. But when I was still back at home, this is all the negative stuff that I was seeing. Okay, so this is a video of how I viewed Soweto. So y'all can watch that.
Okay, so I thought it was really important to show how Soweto was through my eyes because even though we all experience the same thing, we all have different perspectives and like where we come from is how we view things differently. So that was just how I saw it, and we can go to the next one. But this was the most impactful part of the trip for me because I felt very connected. I'm a very empathetic person, so I'm able to connect with people and I feel very deeply for people. And so like I really want to go back and like contribute to that culture. Like if I would have known that we could donate stuff, I would have brought so many things that I have at home that I don't need or don't want anymore. But this learning about Soweto was honestly very impactful as well because seeing the contrast of like the modern and like all the buildings and then you still have these areas of like lower end communities is really like showing how similar Johannesburg is to America. Like we have all of these pockets, and then it also was impactful to me because they only talk about the bad stuff, but in every single place, no matter where you go, there's going to be poor and there's going to be rich, and that's just the reality of the world. So I think it's important to show both sides of it, which is why in my video at the end you see that it said two sides to every story. We can go to the next. Okay, another impactful thing that was really mind blowing to me was the pass books. I found that very intriguing because learning about like I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I just this really caught my eye learning about the pass books and like if you were going to work, you had to have it, and if you didn't, you went to jail.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jair McElwee, and I'm a rising third-year political science and public relations scholar who attends the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, and I'm from Elizabethtown, North Carolina. Coming to Johannesburg at the University of Wits has been definitely a really, really impactful trip for me, and also a really enriching experience for me. The biggest thing that I've seen and that's been very impactful on me is going to Soweto and also the Apartheid Museum overall. I think just being there and being able to walk inside and really take in the rich history, some things you hear about, but you get there and you're seeing it, right? And you're fully taking it in. And it's like all the evidence is there. So it's really shocking to be there. And even outside of that, I think it's very important that we notice that all of our people across the nation, across the country, have all been oppressed, which is very unfortunate, but we're all still pushing towards that great change of being back where we need to be, and we're all pushing towards that great change as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Rowland. I attend North Carolina A&T. I'm an upcoming senior with I major in criminal justice with a minor in business. And my most impactful experience would be going to Soweto. In Soweto, it made me really be more appreciative of the stuff I have and being just happy and not always feeling like I need to get more things because it was a lot of them there that are less fortunate, but they still were happy and they still were humble enough to let us come into their house. So I would say that's why that was the most impactful experience.
Hello, my name is Dr. Yolanda Stone. I am the Director of Marketing, Recruiting, and Student Engagement at North Carolina A&T State University in the Graduate College. So I recruit graduate students to attend A&T. So this is my second time visiting South Africa. I was here last year this time. I traveled with a delegation from A&T to sign the MOU that currently exists between our university and Wits. I think the most impactful experience was number one, seeing the city of Johannesburg, which dispelled a lot of preconceived notions that they had coming here, to let them see that no, this is not just uncivilized jungle community, people living in huts and things like that. That this is very much like what they're accustomed to in the U.S. And I think the second thing was the information that they learned about apartheid. Going to the Hector Peterson Museum and hearing the stories, going to the Apartheid Museum and hearing the stories, and making the connection that it is very, very similar to a lot of the things that we experienced in the U.S. surrounding Jim Crow.
Hi, my name is Dr. Daphne Cooper. I am the Chair of History and Political Science at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, and I also serve as the interim associate dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences for undergraduate students. And for this trip, I am the faculty lead. I think for them, the most impactful thing is actually coming to South Africa and experiencing a study abroad type of program and experiential learning thing. So I think that was the most impactful for them, actually having the opportunity to come here and be at the University of Wits and just be on campus and ingraining themselves in the culture. I think from this experience, they'll take away the things that they've learned, like from the different lectures to just being out in the city exploring on their own, as well as the different things that we've talked about within our debriefing sessions or our prompts. I think they'll take that away. I think they'll take away the stuff from the Apartheid Museum, Constitutional Hill, just different things along the way, like different nuggets of information that they learned while they were here in South Africa.
So before I came here, when I thought about it, I thought that Johannesburg was going to be like really dangerous and extremely unsafe. Everybody told me, my family told me, my grandmother was worried when I told her that I was coming here, and she was worried that I was coming here like by myself and stuff, and I said I was going to be fine and whatever. And I also thought that I'd have like unpleasant interactions with locals. I'd heard like some things on TikTok that they weren't really that nice to locals, especially Americans, so I was really worried about that, but they proved me wrong. My actual experience, many of the South Africans that I came across, they were not just only pleasant, but they're also willing to learn about Black American culture. I remember when we went to the farmer's market, we met this one dude, and I bought a couple bracelets for him, and he talked about how he was so fascinated with it and how his brother lived in New Orleans, I think, or somewhere in Louisiana, and how he wanted to come to America. And there was this one dude that thought I was from like Wisconsin or something. I don't know where he got that from. But also another thing that surprised me is that South Africa is way more diverse than I thought. I knew that there was a lot of Black people, of course, and that those are white people, but there's a lot of Indians. There was also a lot of East Asians, and I didn't just hear. I heard multiple languages, like English and Zulu and other languages, and then the 11 different languages that they have here. And then also my experience has helped me understand the connection between oppression and the modern social structures. So the first thing that really stood out to me during this trip was Soweto and the class divide. It was really fascinating to me to like drive down the street and see the upper middle class houses on one side, and then have, I guess, below the poverty line on the other side, and to also go into their houses and see how it was like 6 people in one house, and they had to use propane, and they had to use like the wire for the electricity. And also it highlighted how the apartheid created economic inequalities and how they still exist and pertain today, which is kind of similar to America. And another thing that I noticed was the similarities between the apartheid and Jim Crow. Both systems used laws that separated people based on their race while also maintaining white political and economic power. And they also restricted people's housing, their schooling, their employment, and their voting rights. But the difference is in America, the Black Americans who were the minority were oppressed, while the majority here in South Africa, who were Black Africans, they became oppressed. Another thing that also fascinated me was the one-drop rule versus the color classification. In America, back then, any human with African ancestry was classified as Black, and it was used to maintain racial separation during slavery and segregation. While in South Africa, they had white people, Black Africans, colors, and Asians, and the color category was used to classify people of mixed ancestry. And I feel like it kind of still pertains today, because I feel like most mixed people, like most non-white passing mixed people who are Black and white, they mostly usually like they identify themselves more with the Black side, whereas here in South Africa, they identify themselves as color, which is why I think part of the reason why the entire like Tyla like controversy happened is because yes, color is like it's a controversial word in America, but also because, you know, she doesn't consider herself just Black because she's not only Black, she's Black and she has Indian in her, and she's just a mixed race person. And both systems use race as a way to control people's opportunities and identities. Lessons that I learned that history has lasting effects on communities and social structures. I learned that inequality continued even after laws changed. And I learned that, and learning about other cultures helped me realize connections between global histories and oppression.
Oh, you know?
Y'all gotta ask me questions.
Hey. Hey, Tina Moyed!
Ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm gonna be here. Yo! Yes!
Yeah, my allergies. It's like so ignorant on their part because who convinced you that another human was an animal?
The devil.
So you know easy, Dr. Malik.
Yeah, I know easy. Yeah. Ah. Are you from Alex?
No. He went to Pretoria for Michel College, community college. We hooked up with.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No longer, I mean, I'm sure all of you are posting somewhere. You know, you take a picture, you have an experience, you put it in the internet space, and then there's a community of people who may be your community who have a different perspective of Africa just because of what you're doing. So then people say,
being someone who is a problem solver, and I always wanted to know, like, how can we use technology to fix things? And I think that there's so much opportunity in using tech tools. And so that was great to do that and help students building their projects. PhD, I talked about this, so we'll just go through that.
Thank you.